Good morning and welcome to a new episode of the Check-In, the little segment of the Framework podcast where we get all curious about like what people are doing, what frameworkers are, I don't know, how they're surviving, how are we all doing in this weird time, and especially where they're doing it from. Today with us we have Paula Galan. Is that Galan?
Paula.
Paula, yeah. Well, that's the thing.
You should know.
Exactly. Well, when I thought of like how to introduce you, I was like, I should say Paula, and then I was like, I actually never asked her how she wants to be. She wants to be called, so I went with the English version. But Paula, yes.
I'm glad we're having this conversation.
Yeah,
it's important.
Yeah, and especially like very, very crucial content for like multilingual people.
Exactly.
So, how are you doing? How is everything going with you?
I'm good. I've had a really good week, actually.
Great.
So happy to announce that. Last week, I think I can't remember. I've also lost sense of time as well.
Completely.
But for the most part, it's been pretty good. And the flatmate that you just heard doing a baby voice, that's the dynamic we have. So we're constantly making accents and being stupid, which has really, really helped to deal with this pandemic.
Yeah.
Is having a good flatmate. And we got ready for it as well. Like we bought a puzzle and coloring books, adult coloring books.
Nice.
And, making recipes and all of that. But still, there's been a couple days that haven't been amazing.
Yeah, well, I think it's normal. Like at the beginning, it was kind of like, this is change. Change is usually good. I'll get something good out of this. And then you gradually go into like, panic. What is happening? I have no control over anything. What is the meaning of all of this? And then you gradually refined sanity in some things, like maybe in routine or like changing a few elements. You kind of like find your own small bubble of comfort zone. At least that's what happened with me. I'm starting to be a little bit better.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think also it really helps again to have like to live with someone has been really useful, because then when she's having a rough time and I'm being all bubbly and optimistic, I'm like, it's okay, we'll be fine, blah blah blah, and then like we sort of balance each other out. And then when I'm feeling down and she's feeling better, then she balances me out. So
yeah. The one type of people that I've been concerned about are people living by themselves, because I would be completely like, I don't know, running up the walls, covered in my own feces, just screaming at the window. Like that would be me after like a month closed in my house by myself. Like it would be a disaster. So
especially the covered in your own feces part, like absolutely.
Yeah, like,
I can relate.
I kind of see like reverting back to like primates and going like, what's the meaning of anything? And just
no, for sure. But
how else would you?
Them. I don't know. I mean, I've spoken to a few people that live on their own, and some of them are like unaffected by it. They're like, I mean, I'm a hermit anyway, so I haven't even noticed much of a difference.
Yeah, pretty much. Like there is a bunch of people that were, as you said, hermits before, or like really homebodies, and all of a sudden they were criticized for being that. Like, oh, why don't you go out? Like you should have a social life. And now they're all like heroes. Like, do like Jimmy. Jimmy never left the house a year ago.
Yeah.
Do like him.
All the introverts are like,
yeah, no, exactly. Well, but the funny thing is that I've been speaking with some of my friends in Italy, and some of them, unfortunately, live by themselves. A few told me that, as we said, they're like thriving and they love it. And some others said like, I've always been an introvert. I've always like enjoyed time by myself. But to this extent, it almost becomes like that, this is what you should do. And you don't even push to get yourself out of your comfort zone. People that stopped calling each other, people that stopped messaging, they went like, you know what? I'll delete my Facebook account. I don't care about it anymore. And like gradually you really like step away from society. Whereas like usually they can't do it because they have a job and they have to like meet other people, and like life gets in the way of you just wanting to be in a bubble. But I don't know. It's interesting. Like everyone has a different approach and opinion to it.
Yeah, like at the same time, people that are very introverted, they're now more comfortable reaching out to other people because even they crave connection. So 100%. Now people are doing video calls. That was like extinct. People would only just text, but the idea of calling someone on the phone was weird and like annoying. And now people are just FaceTiming all the time. I love it.
Yeah, well, I've been getting some feedback even from Kim that was in the check-in a few days ago, and she said that like she always thrived in a video call kind of like Zoom environment rather than like in-person meetings. Whereas to me is like absolutely the opposite. I go like, my attention span is 0 on a Zoom call. 0.
Really? Like, are you focused now though?
I am. Well, because there is a chat. Because there is a chat, and like I'm interested, and I'm like excited to talk to someone different, and all of that. So it's pretty good. Like, yeah. But usually it would be terrible for me. I would always prefer in-person meetings. But right now, like everyone's stuck with this, which is not the worst alternative in the world, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. And I was just talking with my aunt on the phone this morning. I called her because I needed something. Okay, so this is related to work. And this is one of the things that I have procrastinated a lot is taking care of myself in the workspace. So like having a proper desk with the thing and the keyboard down here, all those things. And one of the things is having proper glasses. I don't need them. I don't need prescription glasses, but I do need the blue light filter.
Yeah, like you have your face in front of a screen all the time. You're a video editor.
Yeah, it's bad. And I don't even have a dual monitor. I don't even know how I'm doing. I am not
You're not in the perfect situation.
Anywho, I need to get a dual monitor and the glasses. And so I was asking her because she's an ophthalmologist. Is that what you call it? An eye person? She's an eye person. Nod.
Yeah, she's an eye doctor. Yeah.
She's not a doctor, but she's like a person that does eye.
Okay.
Anyway, and so I was asking her some questions about that. And then the conversation, which was supposed to be 10 minutes long max?
Yeah.
Because it was just me asking questions about glasses and filters and lenses and whatever. It ended up being an hour-long conversation because she's living on her own. And she's one of those people that can't stand anymore. And she's going nuts. She's like, I have so many things to do. You would think that you would have more free time during the pandemic, but now you're busier than ever for some reason. Yeah. And she's going nuts. So now she's like asked someone to stay with her. So we talked about that for an hour.
Where is she?
She's in Colombia.
In Colombia, okay. Yeah. Because I was just like doing some background research on you. I was like taking up the No, but like I noticed that like you lived in London, and I remember like I was speaking of you living in Los Angeles for a bit, and I remember
not Los Angeles. It was North Carolina.
North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
And so like I remember that you were from South America, but I couldn't remember where from. And so like I went onto your LinkedIn and I was like, oh, Colombia. It's like this person traveled so much more than I thought. Like, not that I didn't know it, but like I had no real, like, I don't know, information about it.
Yeah. What?
No,
sorry?
Is all your family back in Colombia?
Well, I have a huge family. So most of them are, but a lot of them are spread around the world. So my mom's family, I have 4 aunts and uncles and then 9 cousins.
Wow.
So with me and my brother, it's 11 total. And that's the small family.
Yeah, that's
my dad.
That's a unit.
Yeah, that's like, it's average. But then my dad's side of the family is humongous. And he has 11 siblings. And
what?
So I have 35 cousins on that side of the family.
What? That is amazing.
They're everywhere. So I actually had I had some cousins that were in the States, in DC mostly. but I think also Boston and New York. I don't even know. It's really hard to keep track of everyone. And then I have 2 cousins that are in London and whatever, Spain.
You name it.
Name it.
Name a place, and I'm sure there is one of you guys.
There's one that's in Indonesia.
Nice.
So yeah, I have a place to crash everywhere in the world.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about like big, usually extended families, but yours is just like a massive family on its own. Like you don't need like degrees of separation. It's just like brothers, aunties, uncles, and cousins, like everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I love about it. You can travel a lot. Yeah. You always have like someone to go like, hey, I thought of coming your way. Can you give me a hand?
I never do that. I wanted to do that with the one that's in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Now I can't.
I know. Well, one thing that we might need to reevaluate is the value of the freedom of travel we had before this.
Yeah.
You know, like how, like if you're doing okay with money and if you're in a place that is close enough to like places you want to visit, you always have that mentality of like, oh, well, like not this month, like I'll find the next occasion to go and fly to that destination I always wanted to. Like it's almost mental laziness rather than like taking advantage of your own real freedom. And I don't know, something that happened in my head personally was like, well, I will never take this freedom for granted again. I never thought in my lifetime I would see a period of time where there was no freedom of travel. And hopefully it's just going to last a few months. But I don't know. I'll take advantage of all of the occasions I have from now on. 100%, I swear.
That's good. Now you have that motivational push. I feel like I had that. I've been having that travel bug for the last like 4 years of my life. So since I left the country, I like when I moved to the States, I was like, I need to travel. Like, that's why I'm here. This is not my country. Yeah. So I need to go discover. Then when I went to London, I want to discover all of Europe. Now in Australia, I want to discover all of Australia. I also don't want to be like super like obsessed with it. Like I need to be traveling all the time.
Yeah, it's not the solution to every problem, but to some for sure.
Yeah, I had a healthy dose of traveling for the past few years. And when this is over, I think I'm going to go on a month-long road trip around Australia. It's not going to be a road trip because I'm not going to be driving.
Yeah.
It's going to be on a plane. It's going to be on a plane.
A plane trip.
A plane trip. One of those weird plane trips. So I want to go to Perth and I want to go to the Northern Territory, maybe Darwin and Uluru. I want to go, is that how you say it? Uluru? Uluru.
Let me check with my Italian vocabulary. Probably.
It is. Great. Thanks for validating me. And I also want to go, I had to cancel a trip to the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh.
It's fine. I got my money back, so I'll just go when I can. And then Brisbane and the Gold Coast and what's it called? Byron Bay.
Yeah.
And I want to go to Tasmania. Those are
Tasmania is the number one on my list as well. I was the other day speaking with Andy, which is a video maker in Framework. Yeah, you know him. And he's quarantining in Tasmania. And I'm like, that's gotta be the best. You're in the countryside. You can just like every day leave the house, go for a walk in the woods for how many hours you want. That is the best. Yeah. Like instead of living in Melbourne where you kind of... should I leave? Should I not? Should I go out? Am I really allowed to? Like, you know, that kind of like weird sensation. And you end up just going out, or at least in my case, go out, buy coffee, come back. Go out grocery shopping, come back. Like it's always like a purpose trip. It's never just to take a walk.
Really? I've been doing like a mix of both. Of just like listening to music for half an hour and discovering new areas of the neighborhood. You would be surprised. You don't know your neighborhood as much as you thought you did.
Probably.
There's so many different places. It's amazing.
Probably.
Also, where in Tasmania is he?
I have no idea. I'm sure he told us during the check-in, but I forgot. I know that
I want to know.
Yeah, well, I know that he's isolating in at his parents' house.
So it's not like near a city.
Probably not. He told me that like it was a small village. Like the first few weeks, coronavirus didn't affect the life of the village or the little city because I don't know, there is like one small post office and a small grocery shop, and like there's no people around anyways. So it didn't feel like it was different in any capacity. So like let's segue to work. Like you're used to working remotely, right?
Yeah.
As a video editor, like has your work been impacted?
It hasn't really. I think I was working on 4 different projects and they are still going. So
Amazing.
That's great.
I'm very happy to hear that.
well, in terms of the project and the creativity and the fulfillment of doing them, that's great. In terms of money, not a lot of money coming in from those projects. Like,
okay, that sucks. Okay,
it does.
I'm starting
suck.
to be less happy.
But it's fine. Like, I think the thing is, like, two of those projects, one is paid, but that has been on pause and only now it's coming back. So we'll see. And then there's 2, one with a friend here who's actually from Colombia, and then the rest of the team is in Colombia. And so we're starting this new thing. So because it's just starting, there's no money involved whatsoever. But the idea is really cool. So I'm really excited about that. And working with him has been a pleasure. And so that's been great. And then with a group of friends back in London, we did a web series last year, and now they wanted to get a bigger budget for the second season, but they couldn't because we were on lockdown. And so they were like, fuck it, let's just do it anyway. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it anyway. And actually, I was really happy. Well, this is going to sound horrible, but I was sort of happy that we were on lockdown because they were hesitant about the fact that I'm in another country and the time difference is so big. So they were like, the problem, because when I was in London, we still worked remotely, but we were in the same city and we were in the same time zone. So they were a bit afraid, the producer was, that not that I wasn't going to deliver, but if there maybe was something that had to be done now for them, and it was like my 2 a.m, then I couldn't do it. So it was like an extra obstacle. And I was like, guys, I was trying to convince them to keep me in the fucking team.
Trust me, we can do it.
I was like, it's fine. I'll figure it out. I've always worked remotely. Don't be like this. Anyway. And I was like, let's just give it a shot. Let's see how it goes. And they were like, okay, fine. And then now we're all on lockdown. So they had no other option. And I've proved I could do it. And I always delivered way earlier. So it was great.
Amazing. Well, let's see, like, I love, like, we could make a section called, like, good things that happened because of coronavirus. And it's like, that is exactly what I needed. I didn't know I needed it, but I needed that to happen.
Yeah. No, it's great. But in all seriousness, though, I think this is having a lot of silver linings in my career as an editor, because I do want to keep working remotely. And I think that now people are going to be more willing to do
100%, 100%
with video editing, because with editing you need to transfer files and whatever, and that we're talking about heavy files. It's not like being a project manager and you only just need your laptop and like a Word document. I don't know what project managers use
or what they do. They usually don't know themselves. We do things with computers, okay? We're busy.
They're busy, but they can just keep everything in their computer.
Yeah.
But with video, it's so heavy.
Yeah.
And transferring that and sending it and whatever. I've been trying to do a lot of research, and I haven't fully found a workflow that I'm like very happy about. But anyway, but now this is going to mean that more people are going to start working that way. So they're going to improve cloud services and certain platforms for sharing video and files. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, but also like, as you say, like with video editing, like the biggest problem is like the weight of the files and like the amount of data that you have to transfer. Mm-hmm. And I think that like as a result of this situation, a lot of people will find themselves in a problematic situation where they go like, hey, how do I make this better? How do I improve this workflow for myself? And that's how usually inventions happen.
Yeah.
So like new ways to like, I don't know, use network access servers and stuff like this could be happening right now. And if in a few months or in a year's time, we'll have a much better way to do things simply because so many people find themselves in such a troublesome situation that they had to develop a solution that works for everyone. So yeah.
I agree. And I think, well, one thing is the software improvements and whatever, but then another thing is people's mindset about it.
Changes.
So if you're going to reach out to a production company and you say, hey, I work remotely, before they would be like, that's weird. Like, we need you here. But now they're like, oh yeah, I guess that's what everyone's doing. So it's fine.
Yeah, 100%. It's not only like Zoom that is going to benefit from it with its like 150 million new users in the last month, but it's the culture of doing so. Like so many people that I'm doing little projects with and I'm, I don't know, building ideas with in different countries are now so much more open to doing that like over a Zoom chat, like, or a Zoom video call, rather than before where it was like, well, like we might try to schedule a call. It's now like we're used to this.
Yeah.
So I think there is going to be a lot of good things coming out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is there anything that you needed to implement? Because we talked about workflows. Any change that you needed to implement in the way you work that you think you're going to keep after this?
Well, I think the main thing is what I was telling you before about setting up a proper desk.
Yeah.
Because I have just been so lazy about it, but my eyes are starting to take a toll. Like they get really, I think, dry. I don't even know. I don't know. But
literally, yes.
I'm going to say, oh my God. Okay. This is going to sound so bad. I am embarrassed to admit this as a video editor. It's bad. It's bad. But because I don't have a dual monitor, I'm going to explain why I don't in a second. But because I don't have it, that means that I don't like Premiere is the size of my screen, right? And then the actual video is like this small. And so my eyes have to like, it's not good for the eyes. It's not good. And also not good for the video.
Yes, I know.
Oh, well. But then, okay, here's the thing. Because I've been traveling so much and I want to keep doing that next year. So I have a trip planned with my brother. We'll see when that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But it's going to be a year-long trip that I'm going to take with my brother. And can you imagine carrying all these things? Like, I'm talking about jackets. That is my main concern because they take up so much space. And then another monitor and drives, like, it's just so much. And I get overwhelmed. So that's why I haven't done it. But I'm going to do it. Maybe I'm going to sacrifice a jacket. And
a jacket, yeah. No, first of all, like, this might be useful for everyone. Are you using a Mac?
Yeah.
Cool. The new iPads have 0 latency in doubling the screen. So you can just buy an iPad and just put it next to your computer, set it up, and it has a second screen that you can use flawlessly.
Oh, can you send me a link?
Yes, yeah, I know this because I've been just like trying to tell my housemate that is now like doing illustrations and animations for a little web series that we're shooting and editing in the house because that's what we can do. And I know your struggle because I'm not a video editor and I rarely shoot or edit video, but I started doing that on the daily now. And I just have my monitor and I'm like my computer monitor, and I'm losing my mind over like seeing that like little thumbnail of a video. It's just like, it's my nightmare.
That's literally it. Yeah. Oh my God. I have the patience of a saint.
Silver lining, you know that the thumbnails on YouTube will look great because if they look good there, they will look everywhere. But like, yes, I agree that like setting up a proper workstation kind of thing, it's crucial. I never used to work from home. So my biggest struggle has been not having a desk or a thing. I've always worked from cafes and from framework. And so home was always the play part of my life, and other places were always the work one. And now blending them was difficult enough, but I'm literally working from a ledge, from a shelf. So I don't have the space for a desk, so it's weird, but I will find solutions.
I have a desk, so that has been really useful.
Yeah.
So I also, because the first day of lockdown, my flatmate set up like an office space in the dining room, like the kitchen table. And so I put my computer there next to hers. And then I had a meeting that day. And she was like, can you speak a little bit low? Like, I just can't focus. And I was like, I can't. Like, I would love to, but I am just a very loud individual. So I moved to my room, which is great because I can focus more. Yeah. And then I can, like, especially because I need to connect my drive and shit. Yeah. So having people moving around in the kitchen
doesn't help.
Might be, so I prefer to have everything in a corner. So I'm in a corner of my room. I have my desk here, everything there. I can speak loud. Not, I mean, there's a door. You can hear everything, but it's not as annoying as having a person being really loud in front of you. So that's
100%. Yeah.
That has been my office space. It's working.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to build the same, trying to find a solution. Like in the last few days, I've been working outside. So we have a little patio with like a bamboo grove, and we have how do you call them? Like a bench and a little outdoor table. But it's always, when things are not the right height.
Yeah.
When you kind of go like, oh, I can never find the right way to work on it. But like every time it rains, then there is the four of us just sitting on the couch with the computer like on our chest going like. So we'll find solutions. We try to like wait it out, and then we said like, oh, maybe we have to wait a little longer. We'll need to eventually find a proper solution, or buy a chair. Even a chair would make a difference.
How are you dealing with the weekend difference? Do you feel the difference?
Honestly, personally, I've never felt a difference. Like I've always worked whenever I wanted, like always being a freelance. So there was never a real moment where we go like, oh, it's Saturday and Sunday. This is the weekend. We do activities kind of thing. And the other days we work. It's always been completely fluid. So that doesn't really bother me at all. The thing that I notice is though, for example, that during the weekend, people start saying like, oh, what are we doing? Even in the house. My roommates would start saying, hey, what are we doing this weekend? Oh, should we cook up a big thing together? Should we do this? So I think that it's the time of the week where everyone is more available to do more time-consuming things rather than the opposite. For the rest, it's not being very different.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you? Did it change for you a bit?
Well, I mean, I think I had to be, so for me, I always sometimes work on weekends and that kind of thing. But then this year I decided, no, I'm not going to do that anymore, especially because working with people from different countries, it can get so confusing. And now I'm like, I won't even read a text if it's related to work. I'm like, I'm going to disconnect. And I let them know. I'm like, guys, it's the weekend. Bye. And some people get annoyed, and then they learn to respect it because that's just the way that it's gonna be.
Of course.
And for instance, when it was the long weekend for Easter, I took Friday and Monday off, and I did whatever I wanted in my house. I watched movies. I don't even remember what I did, but it was a weekend. It wasn't like I had a lot of plans, but I made them up. You know?
Well, you treat yourself. That's what a weekend is for, in any way or capacity you can at the time.
Exactly. So what I've been doing is on weekdays, I'm an early riser. I've always been. So at 7 in the morning, I'm already up. And so
what?
on weekends too. So
God, you weird people that know how to do that.
I don't know why. I don't even need an alarm. It just my body's like, maybe it's the curtains.
Rise and
I never pull them
shine.
down. Anyway, so yeah, so I wake up. I sometimes go for a walk, but most times I don't. Anyway, I try to go for a walk like at least once a day, but sometimes two. And yeah, like I take a shower, I have breakfast, I start working, then I make lunch, which is news to me. Like this is different. I always just eat out, always.
Yeah.
Always. But ever since the pandemic, I've been eating at home and I've been enjoying making my own meals and I've been enjoying grocery shopping, which is a concept. Anyway, and also because it's something to do.
Oh yeah, and you can
It's
put
like an
so
excuse
much
to leave the house.
you can put so much creativity into it as well. It's been a big like outlet for me personally as well, not being able to work with photography because hello, there's no one that wants to be photographed right now by a person like 2 meters in front of them.
You screenshot the Zoom call.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Not yet. I'm not there yet. I don't think I will do that. I can't say for sure that I won't because at some point, if I'm left for another month without being able to portray someone that is not my housemates, I will go insane. But in the meantime, like, I don't know, a big outlet has been cooking. I've always enjoyed cooking, but I always hated cooking for myself. So I would go out of my way to cook up a big feast and spend 10 hours in the kitchen if I needed to for someone else, like for a dinner. But I would never do that for myself. I would just like open a tin of something and just go like, oh, done.
Beautiful. I'm the opposite. Well, sort of, because I hate cooking for myself, but I hate it even more if it's for someone else.
What? How?
I get intimidated. I'm like, what if it sucks and they hate me or they judge me and they're like, oh my God, yeah, it's so good, but they actually hate it. So it stresses me out. But yeah, now I'm like, I shop less on purpose so that I can go to the grocery store again the next day or in 2 days. I do that. It's fun. But anyway, that's how I have fun during the weekdays is by cooking and shit like that. But then on weekends, I drink and I do takeout.
That's awesome. I feel like you're on to a perfect routine and a really good plan.
Yeah. Sometimes I break the routine when I'm like super anxious. Like last Tuesday was a piece of shit of a day and I had a drink after lunch. So
100%. And like, I feel like being fluid and reactive to what is happening at the moment is really important. When you go and beat yourself up because like, oh no, I shouldn't be feeling like this today. This is bad. And it's like, no, you're allowed to feel overwhelmed. You're allowed to feel alone. You're allowed to feel scared and anxious. It's fine. Do whatever it takes for you to feel better. Like put yourself as a priority because you're running a long marathon here. It's not a sprint. It's not like a project that you have to deliver. And if you feel bad, you don't have time to. It's just take care of yourself.
Absolutely. Yesterday, we have a little book club with my flatmate and another friend. And we were talking about that. And then she was saying that she's gone back with like an ex, not an ex, but like an ex hookup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, anything goes during the pandemic. Do whatever the fuck you want.
100%.
Whatever works. You get that sex.
Oh, lucky person. God damn it.
I know. I got so jealous. But yeah, people can do whatever. Like everything goes now. Like you can stalk your exes, drink on a Tuesday. Nothing matters anymore.
Don't do the two things at the same time. Don't get super hammered on a Tuesday and stalk all of your exes. Not the same night. Let's keep them separate for your own sake.
Be professional.
Exactly. Paula, thank you so much for this.
No
Paula,
worries.
not Paula. I have to stop saying it.
I'm glad you noticed.
Yeah, I am sorry. Thank you so
No
much for
worries.
being with us today. This has been delightful. You've made my day.
Ah, thank you. You've made my day. I
Let's
hope to
do it
see you
again.
soon.
Yes.
Yes.
As soon as possible, let's give each other like one of those massive, like passionate hugs that we're all
Yeah.
like craving so badly.
4-minute hug.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.